All right, let's talk about the cloud. We hear that phrase all the time, right? But what is it, actually? It sounds so, I don't know, mystical maybe, a little vague? Well, today we're going to pull it right down to earth and figure out what's really going on with one of the most important pieces of tech out there. Let's just dive right in.
So, think about it. You're on your phone, you snap a great picture, and you hit Save to Cloud. And poof, it just vanishes, off to somewhere safe. But where is that somewhere? I can promise you one thing, it's not floating up in the sky with the actual clouds.
And that's really the first big secret we need to get out of the way. The cloud isn't some fluffy, abstract concept, it's a real, physical thing. We are talking about these huge, air-conditioned buildings called data centers, and they are just packed to the gills with powerful computers, we call them servers, that store your stuff and run all sorts of applications.
Okay, so if the cloud is really just someone else's computers, what's the big deal? Why is everyone so excited about it? Well, the big deal is this massive shift in thinking. It's about moving away from owning all your computer power to just renting it.
This slide really just lays it all out. The old school way versus the new way. You know, back in the day, if a company wanted to run a website, they had to buy all these expensive servers, hire a huge IT team to babysit them, and pay for the power to run them 24/7, even if nobody was visiting the site at 3 a.m. The cloud just completely flips that on its head. Now, you just rent what you need exactly when you need it, and you let the experts at places like Amazon or Google worry about the hardware. It's way more efficient, and you can scale up or down like instantly.
Now, that might sound like a bunch of boring business jargon, but the idea behind it is actually super simple. Instead of spending a ton of money up front to buy equipment, that's your capital expenditure, or CapEx, you're just paying a predictable bill every month for a service. That's your operational expenditure, or OpEx. It's just like your Netflix subscription or your electricity bill. It basically makes world-class computing power affordable for everybody, from some kid coding in their garage to a giant global company.
Okay, so we've established that we're renting, but what exactly are we renting? To make this crystal clear, we're going to use the legendary pizza as a service analogy. I know it sounds a little silly, but trust me, it's a fantastic way to break down the three main flavors of cloud services.
So, first up on the menu is Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS for short. The easiest way to think about this is that you're renting a professional, top-of-the-line kitchen. You get the oven, the fancy stove, the walk-in fridge, all the core infrastructure. But you've got to bring your own dough, your own sauce, your own cheese. You have to do all the cooking yourself. So you get a ton of control, but you also have a lot of work to do.
Next, we've got Platform as a Service, or PaaS. Now, in this scenario, you don't just get the kitchen, they also give you a whole pizza kit. They bring you the pre-made dough, the sauce, the cheese, the toppings. They manage all those basic ingredients for you. All you have to do is put your own unique spin on it, assemble it your way, and pop it in the oven. This is great for developers because they can just focus on building their cool apps without worrying about the boring stuff underneath.
And finally, we get to the one we are all using every single day, Software as a Service, SaaS. This one's the simplest of all. You're hungry, you want pizza, and a hot, delicious, ready-to-eat pizza just shows up at your door. You don't care about the kitchen, or the ingredients, or the oven. You just want to eat the pizza. You just want to use the final product.
And this really shows how much the cloud is already a part of your life. When you're binge-watching a show on Netflix, or listening to your favorite playlist on Spotify, or checking your email in Gmail, you're using a SaaS product. The software is just delivered to you, right over the internet, ready to use. You don't own it, you just use it. It's that simple.
So we know the cloud is just a building full of computers, and we know we can rent different pizza services from it. But who gets to use these buildings? That brings us to the different ways the cloud can be set up, or what we call deployment models.
The public cloud is by far the most common. Think of it like living in a massive apartment building. The building is owned and managed by a huge landlord, like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. You get your own secure apartment, but you're sharing the building's main infrastructure, the plumbing, the electricity, the security guards, with all the other tenants. It's super cost-effective, and you just pay for what you use.
But then, on the other hand, you have the private cloud. And if the public cloud is like an apartment, a private cloud is like owning your own house. Everything in it is dedicated to you and only you. You've got total control, you can paint the walls any color you want, you can customize everything. This gives you way more security and control, but just like owning a house, it's also a lot more expensive.
So really, it's all about picking the right tool for the job. You've got the public cloud, which is cheaper, but you give up some control. You've got the private cloud, which gives you all the control, but costs a lot more. And then there's the hybrid cloud, which is pretty much what it sounds like. It mixes and matches. You could keep your really sensitive, important data in your private house, but then use the public apartment building for everyday stuff to save some cash. It can really be the best of both worlds.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground here, from pizza to apartment buildings to data centers. But let's bring this all back home. Let's talk about why understanding this stuff is actually so important right now.
This right here is the main takeaway. The cloud has become just as essential to our modern world as the electrical grid was 100 years ago. It is the invisible backbone, the hidden infrastructure that makes almost every single thing you do online possible.
Seriously, think about it. The fact that you can stream a 4K movie instantly, that's the cloud. The mind-boggling amount of computer power needed for AI research and huge scientific projects, that's the cloud. All the apps on your phone, even something as simple as your online shopping cart remembering what you put in it. Yep, all of that is powered by the flexible, on-demand power of the cloud. It's the engine running the modern internet. So, I'll just leave you with this one thought to chew on. We have built our entire digital society on top of this new utility, this planet-spanning network of computers we call the cloud. And it's given us amazing, incredible power. But it also means we depend on it, maybe more than we even realize. So what happens if the power goes out? What does it mean for us when a single problem can turn the lights off for almost everyone online? Something to think about. Thanks for listening.